Was when he came over? About how old he was?
No, he was just a young boy.
In his teens?
Yeah. He wasn't allowed to wear long pants, you know, when he left Germany. Yeah. I think he had to be 16 when, so he must have been about 15 or something when he left Germany to come over here, you know.
How old was he when he died? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember. But he had bad luck. Cancer broke out on this hand. In his older days, he done brought a family, raised a family up, and they went and they had it. They taken it all here, but the left enough that they fixed this little end of the muscle here where he could hold a handle or a stick or something, you know. And he worked right on this hip, and so it finally then broke out here, and he was rough on them boys. And he had 9 boys and 1 girl, I believe it was.
Luther did?
Yeah.
And one of those was Charlie, right? Your father.
So
9 boys and 1 girl.
So he didn't like to curse, do nothing that way, get drunk. He just tore the hell out of them. And they late then when he went and had to have this hand taken off. I had to take it off up here. And said, well, Paul can't whoop us now. And but when you call him a cussing, doing something foolish, fighting,
He'd kick him, huh? He had those feet still.
He just kicked the food out of him. But he finally then broke out and killed him on it. Right.
So, was he alive when you died then?
Huh?
Was he alive when you, were you alive when he died?
No,
or he died before you never got to meet him, huh?
No, I never did meet him.
Who told you all these stories about him?
Granddaddy.
Granddad did?
Yeah.
So
One of the boys.
What was your granddad's name?
Rufus.
Rufus? And Luther was Rufus's father, right? So Luther was your great-grandfather, and Rufus told you all these stories.
Yeah, he was a starter. I got a letter here, a big bunch of papers somewhere, from a boy in Arkansas. And he'd been to Frankfurt. That's the first court, well, not the first court, the first courthouse built for Franklin County was at Bell Green. And people didn't like it, being where it's at down there. Well, they set part of the darn thing, burned it up. And then they moved it to Frankfurt, and Russell come on in, and so they got mad and burned it up, but they saved part of the paper, the main paper, and he found a bunch of the land buy papers that Luther had bought, where they had the old paper down at Frankfurt. And he wanted to know a bunch of questions, but I never did answer. He said he'd come and see me, but they had a bad storm come through there. That little old town, I don't know, he might have got killed or something. And then there's a lady come. There's one thing, one of Grandpa's youngest brothers, his youngest brother, Nedward Hovater was his name, and he made a carpenter.
Made a carpenter? Okay.
Yeah. So he could do anything in the carpenter line. So, but he left here when he was a boy, and went to Arkansas, and he got him a job out there, and finally married. And his first trip home is in 1901.
Millard came home in 1901, huh? You were only 4.
And he left after him and after Dad and Mama got married and went to Arkansas, well, he come back in 1901. And Dad, he had to come to town about something that morning. He got up and left early. Mother, she got up and cleaned the house up and went and sorted out the mail in the post office. And the sun had come out bright. It's very cool, kind of. And sun come in on the porch, and the chair there, and she just whopped down in that chair and went to wiping her face. So another chair there, she says, "Come on in and sit down." And looked down the road. You could see down the road down the part of me at the Lenders, I guess. And seen somebody coming on a long-legged horse. And he had something on this arm here. Well, he come up and Dad set out some box elders around the edge of the yard and trimmed them up. Limbs was up pretty high. Well, I looked, I thought that was the longest legged horse I'd ever seen, you know. And I said something to Mama. Got him before he got to the house. That's the longest legged horse. And he come on up. Well, he looked up, had his bridle rein in this hand. He throwed it over a limb, and they had to wiggle this arm. Got down off his horse, still holding this basket. And he come on to the porch was 36 inches high. And Mama jumped up. She met him and says, "Miller, what in the world you got in that basket?" But he stepped on up on the porch, and he sewed the cloth back, and there's two little babies in that basket. And he had the heads, feet together. Well, they had that blanket just the size of me, you know, kicking. And he showed it. He says, "Well, Sally, this is all I got left." Their mother died when they was born. So, of course, I didn't know what it was. And I was poking, wanting to see. And he put it down then where I could see and showed me. And I can see them little babies today just as plain as see you know, the way they was a kicking. And he stayed a while, and he went on back. And so that was the last I heard of him then. And that time he made a trip. He stopped in Memphis, and he got a job building on they was building the highest building that was been built in Memphis. And it was one of his old buddies. And he told her, said, "You ought to stop and get your job here. Be at home with your people." Well, he went to see the fellow the next morning. The fellow was a boarding at a place, and an awful good woman. He says, "The woman on board will be glad to keep them little babies, be company to her." Says she's got the help for her boarding. And so she told me, "Yeah, if you want to get a job, go ahead." She'd be glad to keep his babies, you know, and tend to them. Well, they went out with him the next morning, and they got up 4 stories high on the building. Nothing but just a framing. So this fellow that told Millard about it went to the woman and says, "Here, the man would like to work." Well, he said, "Yeah, I could use a hand." Look, he turned around to Millard and says, "Could you go up this corner here and go out there? And when you get out on that 2x4, swing down, swing yourself under it, and bore a hole up this way, through from the bottom." Well, he said, "I ain't got no auger."
He ain't got no what?